they've whittled down and whittled down. There's the chain problem that you were talking about for Ramdan Rosley. Tough for him.
Of him, 𝐜𝐴𝐧𝐠, and then he got the line and the drive perfectly out of the final turn.
This is 𝐟𝐢𝐫𝐞 𝐼𝐴𝐧𝐠 Honda, who are used to winning this 600cc championship. He was lapping around about 158.57 kilometers an hour. Lap times around about the 138 is considered to be solid at this circuit for the Supersport 600s.
Yeah, really good rider, 𝐼𝐴𝐧𝐠. He was in underbones until the end of 2017, and then he jumped straight onto the 600s. Here's 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚𝐭𝐜𝐡𝐢𝐧𝐠 for AP Honda Racing Thailand. Wheeling spoke to on the grid. It is his first season in this championship, and he's one of those very talented young Thai riders on the AP Honda production line.
𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚 has yet to get a podium this year. His best position was a 9 points for 7th place in race number 1, but he's always around about that 7th, 8th, 9th, always competing. So if there is any problems ahead, he may well be in a position to capitalise.
He's running quite well. His teammate 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚𝐻𝐡𝐢𝐳𝐬𝐡𝐢𝐳𝐬𝐡𝐢𝐻, for the most part this season, been just a little bit in front of 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚, but 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚's got some, I think he's got some real quality. I think it was a good choice for Wheeling to interview him on the grid. 30 seconds to go before the start of the warm-up lap.
Very healthy crowd here at Zhuhai. We've been very fortunate to get the crowds. It's one of the things we think this series very much deserves is better crowds on the venue as well. Zhuhai has provided those crowds. We're delighted, and they've been entertained royally, none more so than in this race yesterday. Here is the grid. Kazma Daniel on pole, 137.398, average speed 159.6 alongside him. Pirapong Boonlert, if he comes first and Kazma fourth, Pirapong is champion. Ramdan Rosley on P3. Onto the second row, Andy Farid Idzahar, currently fourth in the championship standings. Adam Norridin, a youthful looking Adam Norridin. You forget how young he is, the Sepang International Circuit Junior SK Racing team member, winner yesterday alongside him. 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐚 from 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚 Honda on the Honda. Ahmed Afif Amran on P7. Ahmed Afif got himself 4th place yesterday. 𝐜𝐴𝐴𝐚, who you like, the young Thai for AP Honda, alongside Helmi Azman, another who's made the move up to Supersport 600 this season. Pasowit from AP Honda Racing Thailand alongside Reza Danica Arons, also on the Honda, and Javier Malloy from Victor Racing. The Spaniard has had a season where he's picked up points regularly. We've got Xia Duntong as a wild card, and Marseille as a wild card from China, as is Macau's Ao Leong Fu. Another wild card, Wan Heng and Hong Yan. Fakhruzi Shakarim is behind them on row 6 of the grid. There are 20 starters, of whom Jin Bin, who crashed out yesterday, and Liam McDonald for the Victor Racing team are on the 7th and last row of the grid.
Liam also had a big crash out yesterday, went cartwheeling through the 𝐶𝐶𝐶 gravel trap, and suspects he's broken his foot, but he hasn't had it x-rayed. He told me this morning, and maybe a collarbone as well. But he's gone out there today on his repaired bike. So some plucky characters in this paddock, and great to see so many wild cards as well.
You've mentioned the Coco Crunch a couple of times, the runoff track. I think it needs an explanation, Barry.
Well, I went on the track inspection yesterday, and it's just what it looked like to me. It's kind of brown, and actually it's not real gravel that's been mined. It's synthetic gravel made to a specific standard and a specific grade in line with FIM regulations, and it's very effective. They've got deep gravel beds, they keep them perfectly, and when the bikes go in, they go in almost halfway up to the wheels. There was a bike that went in there in the support race yesterday that didn't even fall over, it just stood up on its own. So that's the Coco Crunch. Hopefully these guys will be staying out of it.
Zhuhai International Circuit, very much international quality circuit. It's one of the older circuits, but it's been resurfaced, it's been upgraded, and we're delighted to be back here for the first time since 2012. Now, if this race is 1/8 as good as yesterday's, promise you'll remember it.
That's absolutely right, Des. The start line's cleared.
We wait for the red lights to come on. When they disappear. We will be underway. Pirapong Boonla gets off to a solid start. Not so good for Ramdan Rosley to the left of this view as we look. Ramdan bike number 23 is dropped 4 of 5 places from that start, and it's Pirapong Boonla and 𝐼𝐴 Daniel who will be leading 1-2 into that first circuit, and there looks to be a problem for Ramdan Rosley right from the very start there by Barry Russell.
Oh, that's miserable. Yeah, I think you're right, Des. Oh, that's so disappointing.
And also going out wide, that was Pirapong Boonla. Now that makes it very interesting. No, indeed, Pirapong, he's dropped off away, and 𝐼𝐴 Daniel has got open track ahead of him. Behind him there's a little whittle from 𝐼𝐴 but what a fascinating opening 3 or 4 corners, and there is the problem for Ramdan Rosley.
Yeah, can't see what his problem is at the moment, but there goes 𝐼𝐴, and he's being chased by 𝐼𝐴 and Pirapong. He's going to make up some ground now, so worth keeping an eye on him.
Adam Norridin in 3rd place. We know to keep an eye on him. We've learned from experience that Adam Norridin will be mighty competitive, but 𝐼𝐴 Daniel, quickest in qualifying, perhaps hurt by the fact that he didn't win a race he really should have won. He leads. Adam Norridin goes into 2nd place. Already we're beginning to see these two who duelled so famously in race 1 in Zhuhai yesterday, potentially going to be duelling in race 2, and this is only the first lap of 12.
Yeah, and there's 2 very determined Musashi Bunsu Honda riders behind them. 𝐼𝐴 in 3rd there, and 𝐜𝐿ME 𝐼𝐴, who is easy to forget, he was the Underbone champion last year in 4th position.
Pirapong Boonla goes through in P7. He lost a little bit of ground very early on. It's 𝐼𝐴 Daniel and Adam Norridin who are leading. 𝐼𝐴 𝐿𝐿ME 𝐼𝐴, Andy Farid, who we spoke about, and 𝐿𝐴 in the top 6. 𝐿𝐴 Danica 10, Javier Malai in 11th, and Xia Juntong, the best of the wildcards, he is in 12th place. Liam Taylor, credit to him, he's got himself up to 15th. He's overtaken a couple, and there is the sad sight, Ramdan Rosley. Ugh.
That's miserable luck for Ramdan. He's, as a rider, he's done everything right this weekend. Very disappointing couple of outings. 𝐼𝐴's looking good here. And I think that's Andy Farid. 𝐼𝐴 moving up there into P3.
Just looking at Ramdan Rosley, his performances in the last 4 races, DNF, 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 DNF.
Yeah, don't talk to me as he walks back into the pit. Unfortunate stuff for him. But Andy Farid, who went very well until his crash yesterday, he's up to 3rd. I was talking to 3 of the Honda riders, Andy himself, plus 𝐿𝐿ME 𝐼𝐴 and 𝐼𝐴 last night, and they were determined to fly the flag for Honda. They do feel they've got a power disadvantage to the Yamahas, but Andy Farid's chasing Adam Norridin now for 2nd position.
It is the Yamaha though of 𝐼𝐴 Daniel that leads for the 2nd straight lap. He has led from the very first corner once he got the better of the good start from Pirapong. It's Adam Norridin in 2nd. Pirapong Boonla got himself back up to P4. So that little manoeuvre that cost him, sent him down to P10 temporarily. He's worked hard to work his way back through the group, and Pirapong Boonla, the only danger with having worked so hard is that you've maybe used up a little bit more tyre than you'd like to.
Yeah, could well be. He has worked hard, and it's a good reminder. He hasn't just shot through back to the front of this field. It's a good reminder of the quality of the riders here. Andy Farid is the in front of him. He's a double race winner. Adam Norridin, of course, a race winner, and he's got 𝐼𝐴 and 𝐿𝐿ME 𝐼𝐴 and 𝐼𝐴 a young Thai rider coming up through the field. Afif Ram is in 9th position now. I expect to see him moving up, and 10th is 𝐿𝐴 Danica 𝐼𝐴. And we should be seeing a bit more by now. We're past mid-season from 𝐿𝐴 Danica. Let's see how he's doing on the extra 350cc. He was, of course, the AP250 champion last year.
Pirapong Boonla, fastest lap time, 1:38.113. That's nearly 0.3 of a second faster than Adam Norridin. Andy Farid 𝐼𝐴 has also posted a fast time, 1:38.205. So Andy Farid's having to work mighty hard to hold off the challenge behind him from Pirapong Boonler, but the front two remain unchanged as they go through at the end of lap 3. 9 to go, still a long, long way. Andy Farid hunkers down. He's closing in on Adam Norridin. These first 4 are managing to pull away in what, for the first time, looks like it might be a procession. Don't be fooled. Don't not be fooled. This is not a procession.
No, nothing like it, as we've seen from just how hard Pirapong Boonler's having to work to recover from his early mistake. And the Honda of Andy Farid 𝐷𝐻 doing very well to be splitting that group of Yamahas. And 𝐼𝐸 leading the group just behind, about 2 seconds behind.
Yamaha 1, Yamaha 2, Honda 3, just Yamaha Pirapong trying to make it a 1, 2, 3 for the Yamaha, but Andy Farid is holding on there. Pirapong has a look on the outside, has a little dink on the inside, tries to get maybe late on the brakes. Pirapong Boonler, remember, if he wins and his nearest rival 𝐜𝐴𝐺 Daniel comes fourth, he will be champion today with 4 races of the season still to go. But at the moment, that looks a little bit far-fetched because 𝐜𝐴𝐺 Daniel is leading the way. Adam Norridin tracking his every move, and Pirapong Boonler not able to make any headway on Andy Farid.
No, he's not. No, he's not. You can see how good these riders are. Andy Farid was very disappointed with his crash out yesterday because he did crash out of contention.
There is the Coco Crunch operating exactly as you want. Afif Amram is caught and the bike stands up exactly as you described it. Not so much fun for Afif, but no. Well done to
you believe me now, Des?
I believe you now, and that's what safety gravel pits are for.
Yeah, working absolutely as it should, rider unhurt, and bike pretty much undamaged.
Indeed, indeed. But Eagle very much damaged. This is the Pirapong pit lane. Pirapong Boonler for the Yamaha Thai racing team. Remarkable series of results. 6 wins in a row before a 3-1-3 in his last 2 races. 207 points in 9 races to date. At the moment, though, in 4th place, and for the first time outside the podium. Oh. Now in a podium, Andy Farid loses the front end, and Pirapong Boonler goes through into P3.
Yeah, another crash out for Andy Farid. That shows just how hard he's trying. It also shows just how difficult this track surface can be in places.
The Astra Honda Racing pit crew, head in hands time. Sometimes, well, there's nothing that you can do in your pit lane, but Andy Farid,
yeah, not much of a mistake there, really. But you don't need to do much wrong. There you just see the front tucking, and down he goes. Pirapong avoids him, goes inside.
What are we? We're on turn 7 there. We've seen a couple of incidents on turn 7. That's, I think, where Aslan Shah went out in the 1000s yesterday.
Yeah, and similarly, very small mistake that took him out.
But that means our 1, 2, 3 are, as we had yesterday, just in a different order. 𝐜𝐴𝐺 Daniel, who's led since the 2nd corner, ahead of Adam Norridin, and Pirapong has come very quickly up onto the back wheel of Adam Norridin, the SIC junior team member. And also going off is Ahmed Afif Amran.
Yeah, somehow
he's got back up again.
That out of the Coco Pops. He'll have needed quite a bit of help from the marshals to do that.
Gosh.
But you can see the bike's
perfect working order.
Perfect nick, and so is Amran.
Right, back to the front end. Adam Norridin is now feeling the pressure from Pirapong Boonler. Pirapong, we look at, there's a lot of time to go here. We're not even halfway in this race, and Pirapong, who was as low as P10 at one stage after he was forced wide on a corner on lap 1, has got himself right back on the wheels. The differential between Pirapong and Adam Norridin is less than 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, Pirapong, he won't really relish another 3rd place finish, but he's got such a big championship lead that it would be crazy for him to stick his neck out to get up another place. And there's another machine out there. That's one of the wild cards.
Xiaojun Tong 222, who had a pretty decent start. He was in P9, just 11 seconds off the pace. He was dueling with 𝐜𝐴𝐫𝐿𝐲, so the Spaniard goes into P9 as going over the line is 𝐘𝐻𝐠, 0.46 a second ahead of Adam Noureddin. Pirapong third, 𝐼𝐴𝐫𝐞 Pasawit, Helmi Asman sixth. Krichapon hasn't really made the impact we anticipated. He's 9 seconds off the pace and holding off a threat from 𝐿𝐲 Danica and 𝐜𝐴𝐫𝐿𝐲. They're the top 9 as Yuan Tang, he becomes the, Marseille becomes the best of the wildcards in P10.
Yeah, you got Honda, Yamaha 1, 2, 3, you got Honda 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Yamaha number 9 with 𝐼𝐴𝐫𝐿𝐲, who had a fantastic debut in Australia. He came through from nowhere. He missed most of practice because he smashed himself and his bike up twice, I think, in practice and qualifying, and came through from about 9th on the grid to 2nd position in race 1.
I remember the scramble for the flag. Where's the Spanish flag? Because certainly 𝐜𝐴𝐫𝐿𝐲 is there, and for the podium they had to dig deep into the reserves and pick out a Spanish flag. But that was then. This is now. Away from a very happy pit crew at the moment, because 𝐘𝐻𝐠 and Adam Noureddin haven't really changed much the differential between them. It's 0.466, so 𝐘𝐻𝐠 is riding competitively. I wonder, despite the smiles, how badly he took yesterday's defeat, Barry Russell.
Yeah, I mean, they laughed when I teased them today about not getting a win despite having beaten Pirapong. There's a disconsolate Andy Faridis-Dihar. He's not taking his helmet off yet in the pits. Big shame for him. He was right on the pace, but just a small mistake at this level and in these track conditions.
That's Liam McDonald from the Victor Racing team. Where's Liam got himself into? He's in P13 at the moment. He's having a decent attempt, Liam McDonald, on picking up 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, mixing it there with the wild cards. Got a New Zealand passport. He grew up in America. He's a very laid-back, comical character, and one of the big characters of the paddock. He loves racing, and he loves the experience he's having here with Asia Road Racing Championship.
He was dueling there with Makauza Ao Yongfu. That was for P13. In the pit lane, already retired, Andy Farid, Shah Juntong, Afif Amran, Ramdan Rosli, Fakhrouzi and Jinbin also not registering any lap times at the front though. Well, Pirapong beginning to make it. Pirapong has got himself ahead of Adam Noureddin. As we were focusing on some of the back markers, Pirapong Boonla has really made a real move, and he has got 𝐘𝐻𝐠 in his sights. Wow, what a half lap that was for Pirapong Boonla.
Yeah, so Pirapong, he's going to show us his championship quality, and the reason he's got that massive, I think it's at the start of this race, 89 point lead in the championship. Let's see what he can do with 𝐘𝐻𝐠, who's very much had his tail up for the last few weeks since taking a 2nd place in the CEV Junior World Championship, Moto 2.
𝐘𝐻𝐠, his last 5 races at the Supersport 600, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. Is he able to put a 1st on that mantelpiece? It looks so much better when it says P1 rather than P2 or P3, but he's under pressure. Is 𝐘𝐻𝐠, raises the head up high. Boonla goes on the inside. Pirapong Boonla takes the lead with a fabulous overtaking maneuver, and 𝐘𝐻𝐠, who'd been serenely in front, more than a second ahead of Pirapong Boonla, is suddenly chasing the tyres back wheel.
Yeah, Pirapong's been lapping in the late 1:37s. He's the only rider on track to have dipped below 1:38. And now let's see what he can do with these 2 very talented challengers behind him, 𝐘𝐻𝐠 and yesterday's race winner Adam Noureddin.
Andy Farid-Dihar, we understand, is coming back onto the track, but obviously he won't be able to impact what goes on at the top, because Pirapong Boonla, what a recovery. Remember, he was P10. Here is Andy Farid coming back onto the track. He can't pick up championship points, or maybe with the accident rate ahead of him, he certainly can, because there's only 15, including Andy Farid, on the grid, so he might be able to pick up points. So sensible tactics.
Well, yeah, very much so by Astra Honda. They're keeping their eye on the ball. They're thinking about what's going on, and even if he doesn't improve from here, he's going to add 1 point to his tally for the season.
which could be crucial if he is going to get a top 3 place. Anything beyond the top 3 likely to be beyond him, because these 3 are dominating both in the overall championship standings. Behind them, 𝐟𝐢𝐫𝐞 from the Mashasi Bunshu racing team. He's had 3 DNFs. He'd like just to get over the finish line with some points under his belt. But Boonler, chased by 𝐼𝐴 Daniel. We have got 2.5 laps to go. And Pirapong Boonler has timed this one beautifully, or has he? Because remember how late into the race Adam Norridin made his moves yesterday. And 𝐼𝐴 Daniel goes on the inside. Boonler has a look. Right, we are back to dueling 3 in a row. Pick any 3.
Yeah, Pirapong did well there. He held his line, and despite the fact that 𝐼𝐴 slipped past him, he held the momentum and got himself back into the lead. Who do you want to pick from this lot? This is really open stuff. All these riders are capable of springing surprises.
So Pirapong, who temporarily lost the lead for just 2 corners. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel has a look on the inside as all the riders slide. They'll be cautious about turn 7. That's taken a couple of casualties already this weekend. Not quite sure why, but the front end slips away from a couple. But it's 𝐼𝐴 Daniel 2, Adam Norridin 3, and Pirapong Boonler around the fast final corner 14. After this, it'll be 2 laps to go, and the lead for Pirapong Boonler is 0.325, 0.06 ahead of Adam Norridin. What a finale we've got again from these 3 riders. Norridin goes into P2.
Yeah, you saw his team manager Zulfami Karadin on the pit wall there, waving at his rider, hurrying him along, and he got the message that Pirapong's gone back in front.
So Adam Norridin P2, and then 𝐼𝐴 goes on the inside. I promised you that this would be a genuine duel. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel, he's got Pirapong in his sights, but Adam Norridin's got 𝐼𝐴 and Pirapong in their sights as they slide into the corner. Tight angles, and it's Pirapong who leads, uses the full width of the track just to make sure that there's no space for 𝐼𝐴 to get by.
Yeah, a real good quality rider, Pirapong. He knows how to lead at the front. Behind him, 𝐼𝐴 Daniel is determined. He feels he should have won a race already this season, and he hasn't. And he's going to give it everything to get past the tie.
In the meantime, Adam Norridin has already shown that he's got the ability at the end of the big straight to get ahead. 𝐼𝐴 has a look on the inside. 𝐼𝐴 takes the space from Pirapong Boonler. Pirapong tries to go around the outside. Adam Norridin also has a look as well. 3rd change of lead in this lap alone. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel is the man who's holding on. Has he got the ability and the determination? Whiplashes around this corner, and we'll use this as a rehearsal coming into the final lap. It is 𝐼𝐴 Daniel leading from Pirapong from Adam Norridin.
He got fantastic drive through that last turn. Pirapong slipstreamed up close to him, as has done Adam Norridin, who goes through to 2nd.
Adam Norridin P2, he knows where to make his maneuver, and Pirapong, who was leading, now back into P3. Incredible stuff. Final lap, riders giving their all, lifting the brakes until the very last minute. A little whip turn as Pirapong goes on a different line, tries to get something different on Adam Norridin, but Adam Norridin trails behind 𝐼𝐴 Daniel. It's all coming good. Adam Norridin looks on the inside, and Pirapong is still there.
Des, we said if this race is 1/8 as good as yesterday's, it's going to be a cracker, and my goodness, this is every bit as good as yesterday's.
3 still in with a genuine chance of making this. These are the 3 podium sitters. Pirapong, the championship leader, has to do something special though, because he's got Norridin and 𝐼𝐴 Daniel ahead of him. Norridin will be looking at 𝐼𝐴 Daniel and looking for an error. Goes on the outside. Norridin looks on the inside. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel is beaten on the inside. Can't hold it. 𝐼𝐴 round the outside. Pirapong has a look as well, but it's Adam Norridin who takes 𝐼𝐴 on the last lap once again. Adam Norridin won yesterday. 𝐼𝐴 doesn't want to give it up. Final corner. 𝐼𝐴 and Norridin. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel goes wide. 𝐼𝐴 Daniel this time holds on for the victory ahead of Norridin, and the celebrations will be long and and they will be loud, and they will be thoroughly deserved.
That was revenge, poetic revenge there by 𝐜𝐴SMA. He mugged Adam Noureddin on that last corner in exactly the same way that Adam mugged 𝐜𝐴SMA yesterday. Brilliant stuff.
Here's the final corner again. Noureddin leads, 𝐜𝐴SMA just barges him out the way. That is brave, brave racing. I've got to hold on, I've got to hold on, I've got to hold on. And he does. And 𝐜𝐴SMA Daniel, we berated him for smiling yesterday. He will be laughing today.
Brilliant race, brilliant race. He learned from what happened yesterday. He's got the win that he feels is deserved, that his team wanted so badly. And I'm sure that Adam Noureddin and his 𝐼𝐶 team are going to be happy with taking away a first and second place from this race. Look at him smiling, he's flipped his visor up. Wheeling all the way around the track. That's one delighted young fella. 19-year-old 𝐜𝐴SMA Daniel 𝐜𝐴SMA takes his first win of the season, and it's the third time that he's beaten championship leader 𝐵IRAPONG Boonlert, who again today was third. That's 3 third places now and 7 firsts for 𝐵IRAPONG Boonlert, who is of course the runaway championship leader.
If you have seen a pair of racers better than the two that we have seen in the Supersport 600cc here in Zhuhai, I would be tempted to call you a liar, because those two racers